Hello team, I hope you've had an excellent week. We've been talking a little bit on the past few videos around failure, and failure being more what once used to be, I failed at something. So if we look back when we were younger, we'd go, I failed at doing something. Now that's pretty normal because you have to fail. For instance, when you started to learn to walk, you failed. Failure being you fell down. Most people are sitting there probably saying, no, I didn't fail because I can walk now. And go, exactly, that's the point. But at the time when you kept falling over, you were failing. So we have all these things when we're younger that we have to do repeatedly. We have to fail, we have to improve. Fail, improve, outcome. Fail, improve, outcome. You get it. So we start developing this formulaic way of getting to essential things like walking's really important, learning how to chew our own food's really important, all the things that you do as you move from a baby to becoming an adult. Now, somewhere along the line, that process that's been working successfully from us, we start to get smarter as adults. So we move into comprehension as children, as teens, as young adults, and then as older adults. But somewhere along that line, we had a process that always led to success, which is keep doing the right things and you will improve. Stand up, fall down, walk. Stand up, fall down, walk. So you understand that. But in our experiences, and they're all separately, some of us have experiences where we've gone through that phase of learning something and it didn't work the way we wanted, but we then took what was just a failure as part of our process for success, and we said, instead of it being a failed event, we took it as I, or me, I'm a failure. And this is a bit of a challenge because as adults, as soon as we start associating labels with ourselves, which is I'm a failure, I'm a failure at business, I'm a failure at making money, I'm a failure at doing this or doing that, it becomes really difficult because the comprehension we have as adults is we take these things to heart. It lowers our confidence. We find ways to get out of the way. We create anxiety. We create stress. We don't want to try new challenges because we don't want to reinforce what we say about ourselves or think about ourselves being, I am a failure. But you've got to remember that that's not actually true. That's a label that you've given to yourself somewhere in your life that has now become a way of you getting into an emotional state. So a protection mode. I'm not going to do any more of that because I'm a failure and it wouldn't work anyway. But some people miss that. And you see ultra successful people is they realize that failure is just part of a process to an outcome that they want to achieve. They don't take on that thought process of, oh, I've failed too many times at this type of behavior, so now I am a failure. They look at it as an external thing. That experiment failed, now do the next one. And we have to be a little bit careful as business leaders, business owners, people who are trying to grow and do things that haven't been done before. We have to work out where have you adapted a failed event or a failed process, but then started to take what was external to you and make it internal. That was a failed process, not I am a failure because of that process. And it's a really important distinction because if you can't remove yourself from an activity that happened that you didn't get the outcome and you start to keep piling that on yourself emotionally, you'll eventually not be able to move. You'll just be too caught up with feeling like a failure and not wanting to take the actions, the movements, try new experiments in order to fix an outcome that you didn't want to happen and turn it into the outcome you do want to happen. So really just observe yourself a little bit around where do you see things as failed and where have you taken that on as an identity as a failure? Because the more we can remove that, the more happy you're going to be with doing more experiments, the more we're going to be excited about finding more failure points, and the faster that you're going to get to your outcome. I think it's a good thing to think about over the weekend. Hope you have a great one.